Book Summary: The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. Part 1. Introduction: The Wisdom of the Toltec. Welcome, esteemed listeners and fellow seekers of truth and liberation. In the vast landscape of self-help and spiritual guidance, certain books emerge as beacons of profound wisdom, offering simple yet powerful paths to inner peace and personal freedom. Among these, The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz stands as a timeless masterpiece, distilling ancient Toltec wisdom into actionable principles for modern life. This book, a spiritual classic, offers a powerful code of conduct that, when applied, can dramatically transform our lives, leading us away from suffering and towards happiness. Don Miguel Ruiz, a Mexican author and spiritual teacher, draws upon the ancient Toltec civilization, a society of scientists and artists in southern Mexico who formed a society to explore and conserve the spiritual knowledge and practices of the ancient ones. The Toltec, revered as women and men of knowledge, transmitted their wisdom through generations, creating a legacy of understanding about humanity and the universe. Ruiz, trained in this lineage, presents these teachings not as new concepts, but as a rediscovery of inherent truths about human nature and perception. The core premise of the Four Agreements is that our lives are governed by a complex system of agreements we make, agreements with ourselves, with others, and with life itself. These agreements are often formed in childhood, influenced by our parents, teachers, religion, and society. Many of these agreements are based on fear, self-judgment, and limiting beliefs, creating a personal dream that dictates our reality and often leads to unnecessary suffering. Ruiz argues that to break free from this suffering and manifest our true potential, we must identify and consciously replace these limiting agreements with four new transformative agreements. This book serves as a practical guide to personal freedom, happiness, and love. It invites us to shed the old, fear-based agreements that bind us and embrace a new way of living built on truth, love, and self-acceptance. In this comprehensive summary, we will explore each of these four profound agreements, understanding their meaning, their impact on our lives, and how we can integrate them to create a personal dream of heaven on earth.
Part 2. The First Agreement. Be impeccable with your word. The first and most crucial agreement, according to Don Miguel Ruiz, is to be impeccable with your word. Ruiz considers this agreement the most powerful, as it directly relates to the creative power of language and its impact on our reality. The word, whether spoken or thought, is a powerful tool. It's not just a sound or symbol. It's a force capable of creation or destruction. Ruiz emphasizes that impeccability with your word means using your energy constructively in the direction of truth and love. Impeccable literally means without sin. And sin, in this context, is anything that goes against oneself. Therefore, being impeccable with your word means not using it against yourself or against others. Consider the immense power of words. For creation, a single word of encouragement can uplift someone, inspire action, and change a life's trajectory. Declarations of love or commitment build relationships and create joy. For destruction, a harsh criticism, a malicious rumor, or a self-deprecating thought can cause deep emotional wounds, destroy reputations, and perpetuate cycles of negativity. Ruiz highlights several aspects of being impeccable with your word. Speak with integrity. Mean what you say, and say what you mean. Let your words align with your actions and your values. Say only what you believe. Avoid gossip, slander, and false promises. These pollute your spirit and the environment around you. Use your word for truth and love. Direct your words towards promoting understanding, healing, and positive creation, both internally and externally. Be mindful of self-talk. Our internal dialogue is our most frequent use of language. Being impeccable with your word means stopping self-criticism, self-judgment, and negative self-labeling. If you constantly tell yourself you're not good enough, your subconscious will believe it and act accordingly. This agreement on its surface seems simple, but its depth lies in recognizing the sacredness of our words and consciously choosing to use them for good. It's about taking responsibility for every single word that comes out of your mouth and every thought that crosses your mind, understanding that they are seeds that will blossom into your reality. By honoring this first agreement, we begin to purify our personal dream and lay the foundation for inner freedom.
Part 3. The second agreement. Don't take anything personally. The second agreement is don't take anything personally. This principle, if truly embraced, can liberate us from an immense amount of unnecessary suffering and emotional reactivity. Ruiz explains that nothing others do or say is about us. It's always about them. When people criticize you, praise you, insult you, or compliment you, their words and actions are projections of their own reality, their own beliefs, their own agreements, and their own personal dream. They respond from their own internal maps, which are shaped by their experiences, fears, and understandings. Their opinions are their reality. If someone says something negative about you, it reflects their own issues, perceptions, or pain, not your objective worth. They might be in a bad mood, project their insecurities, or interpret your actions through a distorted lens. Their praise is also about them. Similarly, when someone praises you, it often reflects their appreciation, their values, or their own joy in witnessing your success. While it's nice to receive compliments, not taking them personally means you don't become dependent on external validation for your self-worth. Avoiding the hook. When we take things personally, we become vulnerable to emotional manipulation and constant reactivity. We internalize others' opinions as truth, allowing them to control our emotions and shape our self-perception. Ruiz says that when you take things personally, you make yourself a prey for emotional hooks. To practice this agreement, cultivate a strong sense of self-awareness and detachment. Understand different realities. Recognize that everyone lives in their own unique dream. What someone says or does is a reflection of their dream, not yours. Practice empathy, not absorption. Try to understand where the other person is coming from, but don't absorb their negativity or allow their judgments to define you. Build a strong sense of self-worth. Develop a robust internal sense of self-worth that is not dependent on external validation or criticism. Your value comes from within. Guard your emotional energy. By not taking things personally, you conserve vast amounts of emotional energy that would otherwise be spent on defensiveness, anger, or hurt. This energy can then be redirected towards your own growth and positive creation. This agreement acts as a powerful shield, protecting your emotional well-being and allowing you to move through life with greater resilience and inner peace. It helps you stay immune to the opinions and actions of others, fostering a deep sense of self-acceptance and emotional freedom.
Part 4. The third agreement. Don't make assumptions. The third agreement is don't make assumptions. This agreement addresses one of the most common sources of misunderstanding, conflict, and unnecessary suffering in human relationships. Ruiz asserts that we often make assumptions about everything, believing them to be true, and then defending them as if they are facts. Our minds are wired to seek closure and understand the world around us. When we lack information, we tend to fill in the blanks with assumptions, which are often based on our own past experiences, fears, and beliefs. These assumptions then lead to misunderstandings, misinterpretations, and conflicts, both with others and with ourselves. Consider how assumptions play out. In relationships, you might assume your partner knows what you want without communicating it, then get upset when they don't deliver. Or you might assume a friend's silence means they're angry, when in reality they're just busy. These unverified assumptions can lead to arguments and damage trust. In communication, we assume others understand our intentions or that we fully understand theirs without seeking clarification. This creates a gap where misunderstandings thrive. About ourselves, we often make assumptions about our capabilities, like "I can't do that," or "I'm not smart enough," or about what others think of us, leading to self-limiting beliefs and missed opportunities. To practice this agreement, Ruiz offers a simple yet profound solution. Ask questions. Seek clarity. Instead of assuming, have the courage to ask for clarification. If you're unsure about someone's intentions, ask them directly. If you don't understand something, ask for an explanation. Express yourself clearly. Don't assume others will understand your thoughts or needs. Communicate openly and precisely. Verify, don't guess. Before jumping to conclusions, gather the necessary information. Recognize your own bias. Be aware that your assumptions are colored by your own perceptions and experiences. The biggest challenge with making assumptions is that we often believe they are the truth. This leads us to take things personally, the second agreement, and then use our words negatively, the first agreement, to defend our mistaken beliefs. By consciously choosing to ask questions and seek clarity, we prevent misunderstandings from taking root, foster open communication, and build stronger, healthier relationships. This agreement encourages us to live with an open mind, curiosity, and a willingness to understand rather than to judge.
The fourth and final agreement is always do your best. This agreement is the one that allows the other three agreements to manifest and become deeply ingrained in our lives. Ruiz emphasizes that your best is not a fixed quantity. It fluctuates from moment to moment. Your best will change from day to day, from hour to hour. It will be different when you're healthy versus when you're sick, when you are well-rested versus when you are tired, when you are happy versus when you are sad. The key is to acknowledge this fluidity and still commit to giving your highest possible effort at that specific moment. Consistency, not perfection. This agreement is not about achieving perfection every time. It's about the consistency of effort. When you always do your best, you avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret. The joy of the process. When you do your best, you find joy in the action itself, regardless of the outcome. You are fully engaged in the present moment. Avoiding self-reproach. If you always do your best, there is no room for self-criticism or guilt. Even if the outcome isn't what you hoped for, you know you gave it your all. This protects your self-esteem. Compounding growth. Consistently doing your best, even when your best isn't great by external standards, leads to incremental improvement over time. When you make a habit of always doing your best naturally improves. Applying this agreement across all areas of your life. With your word, always do your best to be impeccable with your word. With not taking things personally, always do your best not to take anything personally. With not making assumptions,
Always do your best to ask questions and not make assumptions. The power of this agreement lies in its ability to bring the other three agreements to life. If you always do your best, you'll naturally strive to be impeccable with your word, avoid taking things personally, and clarify assumptions. It provides the sustained effort and intention needed for true transformation. By living this agreement, you cultivate a profound sense of self-respect, inner peace, and a life lived without regret, knowing you always gave your utmost.
Part 6. Conclusion. Living a New Dream. In conclusion, the Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz offers a simple yet profoundly transformative path to personal freedom and lasting happiness. By embracing these four powerful principles, we begin to dismantle the old fear-based agreements that have governed our lives and replace them with a new, empowering personal dream. These agreements are: be impeccable with your word. Use your words constructively for truth and love, avoiding self-criticism and gossip. Recognize the creative power of your language. Don't take anything personally. Understand that others' actions and words are reflections of their own reality, not yours. Shield your emotional well-being from external judgments. Don't make assumptions. Have the courage to ask questions and seek clarity, avoiding misunderstandings and unnecessary conflicts. Always do your best. Give your highest possible effort in every moment, knowing that your best fluctuates. This practice leads to self-acceptance, consistent growth, and a life free of regret. Ruiz emphasizes that these agreements are not easy to implement immediately. They require conscious effort, consistent practice, and a willingness to challenge deeply ingrained patterns. However, as you commit to living by these principles, you will experience a profound shift in your relationships, your perception of yourself, and your overall well-being. The Four Agreements is more than just a book. It's an invitation to a new way of life, a life lived with intentionality, integrity, and genuine happiness. By internalizing these agreements, you step out of a dream of hell and into a personal dream of heaven on earth. It is a journey of self-mastery that promises a life filled with joy, freedom, and love. Thank you for listening. May you find profound liberation in embracing these powerful truths.